2021. Welcome to Immigration, Top Canadian Immigration Question Answer Period. We are a licensed immigration firm in Canada, and we're here to help you out with all of your immigration matters. Questions, you just post them and we'll answer them. There's a lot of different news that we update our viewers as well regarding travel. Right now, Canada is opening up its travel and borders on August 9th to fully vaccinated travelers. The quarantine, the mandatory hotel quarantine is going to be off August 9th. It will not be mandatory anymore. Just a quick thing here. Sorry, guys. Trying to get my Instagram going, but it's not working. So there are some travel restrictions that are being eased up. So August 9th, no more mandatory hotel quarantine. My God, this Instagram thing is really horrible. As of September, I believe 7th or 9th, was it, fully vaccinated travelers will be allowed to enter. You do need to have your pre-arrival exam test, COVID test done 100%, no matter if you're vaccinated or not. So these restrictions have been this news has been posted on the Canadian website. So if you have loved ones, family members, friends in the next 2 months, there are opportunities for them to arrive without going through all the quarantines, the hotels, and so forth. However, for everybody, the pre-arrival COVID test is still mandatory. So we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And the way it works is you post your immigration question, whether it's about studying, school admissions, studying English, sponsoring your partner, restoring your visitor status, or converting from a visitor to a worker, or LMIAs. We are here to answer them. Just post the question on the comment section and we will answer it. So again, everybody, just post your questions. We are here on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube all at the same time. Post your questions on Canadian immigration and we will answer them. The way it works is, hey, you have questions for somebody who's applying for a visa from overseas, embassies, or inside of Canada, no matter if it's a work permit for investors, a work permit after graduation, no matter what. Okay, so our Instagram session came in a little bit later, so I'm just going to repeat about travel restrictions being opened up for non-Canadians coming in, and even for Canadians who are vaccinated. The mandatory hotel quarantine is being removed, which is great news, right? And you have to note that for all other non-vaccinated travelers, they are also allowed to skip the hotel quarantine as of August 9th. So this is really important to note. There are the restrictions and the new regulations have been posted on the Service Canada website. You can check it out. September 7th is a milestone where the borders will be opened up with US, Canada, and then eventually to the rest of the world. And then on August 9th, the mandatory quarantine in the hotel will be removed. However, pre-arrival quarantine tests are mandatory. Okay, so pre-arrival, not quarantine tests, what am I saying? COVID test, pre-arrival COVID test, even if you're vaccinated, is mandatory. Even if you're Canadian, it's mandatory. No matter what, you need the pre-arrival COVID test. So if you're vaccinated, Canadian, not vaccinated, no matter what. New smaller airports are also opening up across Canada. So keep an eye out. We have some of our regular followers following on Instagram, Valehe, Juju, all these people are here, which is great. And as I said, if this is the first time you're watching us, just post your question and we're happy to answer it live. Next week, we're planning to have a guest speaker from one of our office colleagues to talk about the new student direct stream introduced for Colombia, Peru, Brazil, Costa Rica, Antigua, and Trinidad Tobago. Okay, if you're not familiar with the way we work, we are a licensed immigration firm here in Canada. We do have this session every Tuesday to answer your questions live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Okay, so just post your question. We'd be happy to look at it. If there's no questions, I'm just going to blab on forever on immigration, Canadian immigration. So no worries, everybody. So the travel restrictions for regarding quarantines, vaccinations are being eased as of August 9th and September 7th. So we'll go over that again at the end of the session. So if you have let's say you're an international student and you are you want your parents to come over. Well, the chances of them coming over now are higher, obtaining their visa are higher. Coming in and skipping the whole mandatory 3-night hotel stay is going to be removed as of August 9th. So this is all great news, saves money, saves time, saves hassles. However, the pre-arrival test is still mandatory. So, you know, there's a lot of things that you have to be careful about. It's not fully, it's not that everything has been fully removed. Okay, so if you do have questions, reach out to us even later on through our website, through our Instagram or Facebook, or even on YouTube. If you're watching this, you can post a comment or question. We're going to answer. So within 24 hours, typically we do. Sometimes we're short-handed, but we'd be happy to help. So some more questions a lot of people have is we had somebody asking us about our about Saskatchewan provincial program. What are the advantages for international students? Will your work experience in Quebec count for Canadian work experience for express entry? Yes. Okay. Saskatchewan, what's the advantage for international students? Well, your work experience as a student will count. 2, you only need 6 months of work experience in the job offer to convert. Other places like Nova Scotia, it's a year, right? So those are some key differential factors. Depending on your age, your occupation, your possibility to get a job, and your language ability, and your ties, like your first family or relatives in Canada, you have to pick the ideal province for permanent residency, whether it's Manitoba, Ontario, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, BC, Saskatchewan, right? I'm not a huge fan of Quebec. I shouldn't be telling that publicly, but they have their own good programs there. However, you have to be super careful. If you're not a French speaker, I don't recommend it. Yeah, living costs are lower, but so is Saskatchewan, right? Or other places like Manitoba. So everybody who's applied for TR to PR pathway, make sure that you don't panic. There has been no news yet from the Canadian government on applications for TR to PR pathway. So we have somebody asking a question we're going to answer. On the TR to PR pathway, no updates yet. Stay tuned. Nobody has heard back yet. Okay, so if somebody does say today they've heard back, they're probably lying. Okay, unless they've been refused. Okay, so we have one of our viewers on Instagram asking, how can somebody bring their old parents here? Well, not all parents are old. You have to give them credit. There's some young parents out there too. They don't pay taxes. This is from my friend, not my husband. Okay. Thanks for the clarification. So they're asking a Canadian person, permanent resident or citizen, is planning to sponsor their parents to Canada, okay? And they're old. So, okay, doesn't matter. They're your parents. No matter if they're 21 or 99, the Canadian government doesn't discriminate for family members like parents of Canadians. You have to meet the minimum 3-year income table to sponsor them. How do you do that? You show them your notice of assessments. And if you didn't pay your taxes, well, that's a problem, isn't it? You can go back with the CRA and pay penalties and back pay your taxes. That's always, if you love your parents, do it. If you don't love them, then don't pay your taxes, because the only way the Canadian government accepts your income in terms of saying that, hey, I made $50,000 or $70,000 in this year, that year, and the previous year, last 3 years, you have to show them your notice of assessment. Remember, it also depends on the number of family members you have. So if you're alone and you're sponsoring your parents, well, just you plus the parent or parents. So it could be 2 or 3. So the table defines it. That for 3 people, this is how much you have to have shown in the past 3 years. Okay, so this is very important. If you don't have it, go back pay your taxes with the CRA, pay your penalties, and you have your notice of assessments. Great, right? Plus, the program is not always open. So you have to wait for the program to open. You got to get lucky and be selected, because it's kind of like a lottery system, right? So even if you meet the eligibility and you may not be selected in the lottery system, it typically opens up once a year, okay? And if you re-register, and then your name is randomly selected, okay? So they're saying that they don't work. Okay, well, that's okay. Well, good luck with that, because that's going to be literally impossible to sponsor the parents if you or the couple that's trying to sponsor, because you can have your partner, spouse co-sign as well. If there's no income with notice of assessments, then literally it's impossible to sponsor parent, unless they just get a visa and come here and visit you, let's say with a super visa or something, just, you know, for a year, 6 months, 2 years, right? So anyways, that was parent, grandparents question. It seems like everybody is a little bit quiet today. If you do have questions about admissions, schools, work permits, study permits. So right now, study permit renewals inside of Canada, 10 days. Postgraduate work permits, 4 weeks inside of Canada. So they're very fast now, okay? So you have to be careful. Do you want to call IRCC, the Canadian government, and talk to them on the phone and ask them a question? Good luck with that. You probably have to call them 20 times in a day, and maybe you'll get through, because their lines are busy, they're working remotely, it's a mess. Okay, so that's a fact, everybody. If you do have questions, that's why we're here during COVID every Tuesday, 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. to answer your questions for free, okay? We're not saying it's 100% free, because there's opportunity cost. You are spending time watching us. If you're driving and watching, please don't do that. That's against the law, okay? You might get into an accident. Don't want you to do that, right? Next week, we're going to talk about Student Direct Stream for Brazil, Colombia, Peru, and all the other new countries. What is Student Direct Stream? Well, it means your visa will be processed within less than 2 weeks, and it's 99% approval, okay? That's amazing. So if you want to find out more about that, tune in next week. We're back here 5 p.m. Eastern time. So that's North America Eastern time. So that's like same time zone as New York, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Miami, I guess. Yeah, welcome to Miami. So yeah, I mean, in case you just joined us, you just post a question in the comment section, and we do answer your questions live here like we have before. So just to kind of review for everybody who's just joined us, travel restrictions for non-Canadians is opening up. The mandatory hotel quarantine is being removed as of August 9th, I believe, okay? However, the pre-arrival COVID test is still mandatory even if you've been vaccinated, okay? And non-essential travel is being opened up as of September 7th. They're starting with US, and they're opening it up to other countries. So if you have non-essential travel, it's as of September onwards, this is great. If you are double vaccinated, so double shot vaccinated with an approved government vaccine, so the mRNA vaccinations, you're allowed to travel to Canada and skip the quarantine. This is great, right? So even if you're not a Canadian, so there are specific dates that these programs are opening up, the travel restrictions. So make sure you tune in or go online and check them out. So if you have friends, family who want to visit you, the restrictions are being eased as of August 9th and then September 7th and moving forward. But remember, the pre-arrival COVID test mandatory, the application that the Canadian government has allowed you to fill out your details before arrival is still mandatory. Having a quarantine plan, okay, if you haven't been vaccinated, is still mandatory. The hotel will not be mandatory as of August 9th, okay? So if you have any questions, post it. If you miss us and you're watching a recording, please message us directly on our Instagram, Facebook. You can also comment on YouTube, and we will answer it. You can reach out to us directly on our website as well. Our office is always available. We're back here at 5 p.m. today. I'm going to wrap up now. Thank you for joining us again. Canadian Immigration for everybody all the time on Tuesdays, 9 a.m., 5 p.m. Here to help, because if you're going to call the Canadian Immigration Department, you're going to be stuck on the phone for hours and may not be able to get through. So we're here to answer. We don't know about your specific case, but we can answer general questions, and whatever we discuss is valid as of today, July 20th, 2021. So make sure you're aware of that immigration rules do change. So keep track. We'll be back. Thank you very much, everybody. This was great.